What an amazing race that was. Hello guys, and welcome to another Let's Look at F1 2015. Today is going to be my classic mid-season review thing that I do really every year for 2 years running when it reaches like the summer break. So we've just had the Hungarian Grand Prix, one of the most amazing races I have ever seen. Not the most amazing, obviously that title goes to Canada 2011. It's good to see that we don't have a Mercedes on top of the podium or anywhere on the podium in that fact. Not saying that I hate the Mercedes, it's just good to have a bit of variety from time to time. So now on to the actual review section. It's been alright. We've had some really good races, Malaysia and Bahrain and obviously Hungary for instance. And then we've had the meh-ish races, so your Australia, your China, obviously, because it's the Chinese Grand Prix. And we've had those mishmash which have sort of led on to the talk about, is F1 too boring, how can we spice F1 up a bit? And luckily it is looking a little bit more promising with the British and the Hungarian Grand Prix being some two pretty good races, at least to start off with. So let's analyse the teams. Mercedes, obviously, they're doing really well at the moment. The main issue with Rosberg is trying to close up to Hamilton if he wants to win that championship, especially in the second half, because it's a 21-point gap, and although that is closable feasibly within 3 races, he's got to make sure that that happens. Hamilton, he's really been doing well this year. He's won 6 races this year, if I remember correctly, which is really good for him because obviously he's doing well in the championship. I'm not going to really give my viewpoint on like this whole Mercedes domination thing because I'm bound to upset somebody at least, and most likely it's going to be a lot of people. Then we get on to Ferrari from the ashes of last year where they did really badly. Well, I wouldn't say really badly, they just had a bit of a bad car. They've done really well this year. Ferrari have pumped a lot of funding into 1, their car, and 2, their engine, so it's aerodynamically good, and also the engine provides a good power output, which is obviously good for any other team which has the Ferrari engine, which I think the only other one to have the Ferrari engine is the Man and Marussias. Vettel, he's been doing well, he's won the 2 races, Hungary and Malaysia. Kimi, I wouldn't say he's been doing worse than Vettel. Kimi is a really good driver. The issue with Kimi is that he gets a bit unlucky from time to time. Red Bull have had a bit of a mishmash of a year. They've done ish. They've done ishy well so far. They're showing improvement, although straight line is not their forte, which is going to come to a slight detriment when you get into Spa, but cornering is really their forte, and in tracks like Hungary they're going to do really well, and so it's been a bit of a mishmash year. Williams have done slightly better, however they're on the other side of things, so they're not aiming for the sort of like the stuff that Red Bull's aiming for. They're more aiming for straight line speed, which is why they did so well in the British Grand Prix to start off with. They got an amazing start. What Williams are wanting to try and do for the rest of the season are A, wanting more chances to win, and B, trying to make sure that they beat Ferrari in the Constructors, because obviously if they're second in the Constructors, the more money they get for next year, and hopefully the more likely they are going to be to challenge Mercedes for the 2016 season. Everyone has improved, even McLaren Honda. If you remember back in the Australian Grand Prix, let's look, I was talking about, they're 5 seconds behind Mercedes per lap in a 1:30 track, and yeah, they're still bad. I think they're now 2 seconds a lap slower, but it's improved. It's no longer 5 seconds, it's 2 seconds. Because I support McLaren Honda and I support Jensen mainly, but I also support Fernando a little bit. It's a bit hard to see them losing or, well, not doing so well every single round, and considering they're 2 very experienced drivers, it's also hard to see them that this could be the end of their career. Pastor Maldonado is getting tons of penalties, and that's his main issue as well. Pastor Maldonado just can't, is flowing in penalties. He's got to think, well, if I didn't get these penalties that I incurred, I'd be in 6th, 7th, 8th, and I'd be getting some serious points. But he's so prone to accidents that it's really a problem for him, and looking ahead to the rest of the 2015 season, he's got to be in the stance of, my aim is to do well, but not to crash people off, not to speed in the pit lane, not to speed when under safety car, and not to overtake under safety car, and basically just try to not get penalties, because otherwise that's going to impede him. And although he's bringing a lot of money to Lotus and he has won, even a driver who's won several times, he's still got to be on his toes and make sure he does well. You'd obviously expect me to talk about the whole Jules Bianchi thing. Obviously it is a bit of a sadness that it has happened. It is the first time in 21 years, if math serves me correctly, that such an incident has happened where it has resulted in a fatality because of something which has happened on the track, which is a bit, yeah, it is sad. And obviously moving scenes at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Luckily this stuff is such a rarity. It's not going to happen a lot in F1, and really we're probably not going to see this sort of accident ever again. Hopefully we don't, obviously, but with the advent of the virtual safety car, it's going to become less and less likely that these sorts of things are going to happen. And that's all I'm really going to say about it. If you know my Twitter, you would have seen at least a couple of things on that, and if you watched my personality confidence video about a week or so ago, I also did a little thing at the end of that. That is my roundup of the first half of the F1 2015 season. And of course, I'm going to continue the Let's Look at F1, obviously, because it's in a season break. I'm going to continue the Let's Look at F1 when we come back in Belgium a little bit later. It's not going to be a Monday video, and I'm probably going to actually delay that video to a Tuesday, something which you may know, I've talked about it from time to time. Basically, I'm going to the Belgian Grand Prix, and I'm really excited about it, because it's now, like, all over, saying, next time, Belgian Grand Prix. So yeah, that will come out on a Tuesday, because I'm returning on the Monday. I won't have any time to go, yeah, this is what happened, this was awesome. But, yeah, it will happen on a Tuesday. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Ballum. This is the end credits. Signing out. All that's left is a window to my soul. Come and get it.